Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Hunt coming at y'all with the video that y'all have probably been waiting for. I know a lot of people have asked for it in the comment section, and I know I've been taking very long on it. Today, we're going to be going over the starter for dribble tutorial. Now, this isn't the full dribble tutorial. If y'all want the full thing, me dropping a dribble tutorial for small, tall builds covering every move I know with updated dribble moves now that I got them all and everything like that, get this video to 500 likes and I got y'all. Today we're just going to be going over the Steve Francis combos, and I'm going to be highlighting some other good starter 4 animations that you guys are going to need to try out. Now, I already dropped a video on all the starter 4 animations, you know, the good ones. I told you guys about the dunks, the hop shots, the post fades, the post hooks, you know, the dribble moves, everything. Today we're just going over actual combos and dribble moves, Steve Francis stuff, you know, all the goodies. So first things first, let me show you guys the dribble moves I'm rocking with. One thing that I did want to show y'all before we get into the serious combos and everything like that, you get Steph Curry step back at starter 4. This is a really good step back. It's not the best for, you know, getting a shot off and stuff like that, but it's a really good combo chainer. So if you really know how to stand still, dribble, and combo, this is a really good one to add into your combos. I'm gonna show you guys it really quick. All you have to do is just hold R2 and flick straight down on the right stick. You'll get this animation right there, and it's pretty good for combos. Now let me show you guys. So it's pretty good for combos. It's not bad. If you know how to chain it and you got a lot of things to piece with it, is a very good move. It's just not good for getting shots off. I like having a lot of SIGs this year where I could get shots off. Like my hesitation, Tyrese Halliburton. This is really good for getting shots off and just canceling dribble moves. I use this a lot for threes. My step back as well. Luka step back with the snatch. Zach LaVine step back with the snatch. Kemba Walker. Any of those snatch ones, they're used to get threes a lot. So I'm not really going to sacrifice that. But Steph Curry is a pretty good step back, and it's something I wanted to show you guys. Another thing, the Giannis crossover is another must-have starter for all big builds. If you have a 6'10", you hit starter 4, go put this on ASAP. One of the best crossovers in the game. De'Aaron Fox is like pretty much a better Austin Reeves. I've been using Austin Reeves on all my builds since the beginning of the year. De'Aaron Fox is pretty much just like a faster version of that for the small guards, so I also picked that up. We got Kemba Walker, one of the new SIGs, and Steve Francis, one of the new SIGs. Other than that, all the other new SIGs and stuff I talked about from Starter 4, we talked about in an individual video, so I'm not going to go over that too much. Here's the small guard SIGs, though. Now let's just hop straight into teaching you guys some of these moves. Now, when it comes to Steve Francis, the first thing I'm going to show you guys is this. You can spam it faster and get it down to even faster. I mean, I haven't fully labbed it up. I just, you know, hit starter 4 and hit the my court. But this is a nice thing that you're definitely going to want to learn because you could throw it into your combos, chain it with other things. And it's just really good to use. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very effective. You can speed boost right out of it, and it's like an infinite combo. So to do this Steve Francis cross, now let me show you guys it one more time. It's like an infinite Steve Francis cross. The better you get it down, the faster you could do it, and then you could just speed boost right out of it. Now I'm gonna pull up my hand cam real quick so you guys can see the hand cam. One sec. Let me get a display capture. Bang. My fault, y'all. I should have probably did this beforehand, but I'm gonna pull up the hand cam so I can show you guys exactly what to do when it comes to this Steve Francis spam and how to do the Steve Francis spam. Alright, so when it comes to the Steve Francis spam, where's my remote? Alright, my fault, y'all. Low-key slacking, player 1. We'll just leave it on the Xbox when we like. Alright, so to do the Steve Francis crossover, you're going to flick your right stick diagonally up to the opposite side the ball's in. So if the ball's in your right hand, your right stick's gonna go up to the left. If the ball's in your left hand, it's gonna go up to the right. So if you know how to do an escape where you hold R2 and then you flick your right stick diagonally up, it's basically the same thing for a SIG size up. You're just not holding R2. Balls in your right hand, up to the left. Balls in your left hand, up to the right. After you do the Steve Francis cross, well, my bad. That's how you do the Steve Francis cross. Now, if you want to do the Steve Francis cross spam, where you basically spam the crossover, what you got to do is this. You got to use your left stick to kind of follow your right stick, right? So you're going to do the crossover. Balls in your right hand, you're going to cross over up to the left. And then you're going to move your left stick to the left. And then from there, you're going to kind of keep a motion where you flick your stick and you move your left stick to that direction. So balls in your right hand, up to the left, move your stick. You guys are seeing it? Whoa, my bad. You're basically just going to use your left stick to move it from left to right. You're just moving your left stick left to right, left to right, left to right. That's all you're doing with the left stick, and you're just doing the Steve Francis cross. So you're going up to the left, up to the right, up to the left, up to the right, up to the left, up to the right. And you're just following that movement with your left stick. So if you're going up to the left, you're going left to the left stick. You're just following that movement. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much all you're doing to do the Steve Francis spam. If you want to do the crab into the Steve Francis spam, like the Kemba Walker or the Steph Curry escape or whatever the case may be, you're going to hold R2, flick your right stick diagonally up to the opposite side the ball's in. Ball's in your right hand, up to the left. Ball's in your left hand, up to the right. So that's all you're going to want to do the escape. After you do the escape, you're just going to do the Steve Francis cross by flicking. It's basically the same thing. The escape and the Steve Francis cross is practically the same thing. One just uses R2, one doesn't. So you're just going to escape, Steve Francis. Escape, Steve Francis. Escape, Steve Francis. That's all you're going to do. R2, right stick diagonally up. And then you're going to, flick your right stick without the R2. So it's pretty easy. That's all you really got to do to escape. That's all you got to do to Steve Francis. To escape, you just hold R2, balls in your left hand, flick your right stick up to the right, and then you would flick your right stick up to the left with no R2. And then you would just keep it going. You see how I'm doing that? That's pretty much what you would do to do the Steve Francis. It's all about timing. It's all about just getting it down and mastering the timing of it. But that's how you do pretty much the crab into the Steve Francis and how you just spam the Steve Francis. The crab into the Steve Francis looks like this. My fault. I'm not as good with the crab into the Steve Francis as I am with the regular Steve Francis. But the crab into the Steve Francis is probably the better version of it. I'm just not as good at it. But that's how you do the Steve Francis. Bang. And that's how you do the crab into the Steve Francis. The crab into the Steve Francis is really good for combos. If you're just comboing and let's say you do the aggressive breakdown into the crab, bang, Steve France. You see, that was the crab into the Steve France right there. It's a very good way to use it. The Steve France, the one thing about the Steve France crossover and the escape is it's really good to misdirect people into just left, right behind screens. So let me show you guys an example right here, right? Hold on. You could just use this, bang, 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 bang. You see how it's just really good for left, righting behind screens? You don't even need to know the rest. If you know how to do the crab into the Steve France, all you gotta do is just crab into the Steve France, and it's just like a basic, pretty much what everybody does here. Just runs behind screens, crab, Steve France. Pretty much one of the basic moves that everybody needs to know with the Steve Francis crossover. That crab into the Steve France. Now, now that you guys know how to, you know, do the Steve Francis crossover and stuff like that, it'll be easier for me to teach you the rest of these combos. So the other ways I like to use it is one with the Asta slide. The Asta slide is basically the Luca moving step back, the one that I just showed you guys a minute ago, where you get this step back animation, and then you guys also get this animation. Now that moving step back I just showed you right here, this is called the Asta slide. I like using this for a lot of different reasons. One, you could just run up the court, flick down, and just crab them with this, and then just shoot off the crab. Or you could use that Steve Francis and speed boost out to the three. Now the thing that makes this overpowered is I would use this, right? Crab them at the mid range. Hold on, my bad. I'm low key fumbling. I would crab them at the mid range, so they would be behind me at this point. And then I would either speed boost out to the left or I would speed boost out to the right. And sometimes I'll just run it straight up and dunk. But it would always confuse them because they could never guess what side I'm going to. Even if they could guess, they would never be able to get there quick enough. So it's super overpowered, and that's another move I like doing with the Steve France. Now, I already taught you guys a lot of these different moves, and I already taught you guys a lot of other moves as far as glitchy moves, but I'm just showing you guys some of the stuff that I like to do with the Steve France. So to do that move and step back, that Asta slide, you're going to run down the court holding R2 and flick straight down on the right stick. From there, you just Asta slide. Well, my bad. You run down the court, hold R2, flick straight down on the right stick. That'll give you the Asta slide. From there, you could just Steve Francis out of it, or you could just speed boost to the same side like this, or you could just run straight to the rack. But it's another move that I like using with the, you know what I'm saying, Steve Francis is super overpowered. I'll switch to the hand cam real quick. Even though this is a super easy move, I'll show you guys how to do it with the hand cam, just because, you know, there's going to be some people that wonder how to do it with the hand cam. You just run down the court holding R2 and flick straight down on the right stick. Super easy. Run down holding R2, flick straight down on the right stick. And after that, you just hit it with the Steve France and speed boost out. Or you can just speed boost out to the same side, or just run straight and dunk it. Do whatever you guys would please. That's how you guys do the Asta slide. And you know how I pieced that with the Steve France. Another move that I like piecing with the Steve France is this move right here, which is the Ja Morant aggressive breakdown combo. To do this, you hold R2 and flick your right stick straight up. You'll get that animation. From there, you could do the Steve France and speed boost straight out of it. So bang, bang. It's just another move. You know, I use all of these kind of the same way I use the escape. You know what I'm saying? I use the escape, Steve France, bang. Ja Morant, Steve France, bang. I use it all pretty much the same, but it's a good combo chainer, you know what I'm saying? Because you could just keep it going infinitely, or you can mix it up. The Steve France just goes with so many combos, as you guys are seeing. You know, you could do the Tyrese Halliburton hesitation. Hold on, let me show y'all. Steve France, bang. You know, it goes with everything. Bang. So you just want to pretty much just master getting it down out of any move. So the Ja Morant, like I said, R2, flick your right stick straight up. And then you guys could do that Steve France, bang, right out of it. The Tyrese Halliburton hesitation, R2, right stick, straight to the same side the ball's in. Ball's in your right hand, straight to the right. Ball's in your left hand, straight to the left. Once you get that running animation, hit him with that Steve France, bang, you're gone. So there's a lot of different ways you can misdirect it, even if you just Steve France, run, Steve France, run. It's just a really good left-right move in general. I mean, other than that, I could go on and on with different moves that you could pair with it. The behind the back, for example, you know, all you gotta do is a hesitation, behind the back, and then you can Steve France. You know, I'll show you guys with the hand cam a couple of these moves that I'm telling you about real quick, so then you guys can see what I'm talking about. But The Steve France pretty much goes with everything. R2, right stick straight up, you'll get that John Morant aggressive breakdown. Boom, you can Steve France right out of it. Um, Tyrese Halliburton hesitation, R2, right stick to the same side the ball's in your right hand, straight to the right. Ball's in your left hand, straight to the left. Hit him with that Steve France, run out, bang. There's so many different moves. If you want to do the behind the back into the Steve France, R2, right stick to the same side the ball's in your left hand, straight to the left. Ball's in your right hand, straight to the right. And then you do it behind the back. So first you're going to flick your right stick to the same side the ball's in. And then you're going to flick it diagonally down to the opposite side. And then you hit him with that Steve France. So there's so many different ways that you could piece up this Steve Francis combo. With the SIGs that I got on, if you copy the SIGs, you'll be able to just sit here and just hit any of these moves. Almost any of the moves in my SIGs go with the Steve France. The regular breakdown, Steve France. Hesitation, Steve France. Escape move, Steve France. What else do we need to combo into the Steve France, man? Regular breakdown, Steve France. Snatchback, Steve France. Behind the back, hold on. My bad, y'all. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Behind the back, Steve France. You guys are seeing it. Steve France. So that's pretty much, you know what I'm saying, the Steve Francis combos, the SIGs that I like to use with it. I'm going to just do a little bit of freestyling real quick so you can rewind it or just see how I do it or whatever the case may be if you want to just check it out. But I low-key messed that one up. But the Steve Francis, like I said, is super overpowered. There's a lot of different ways you could do it. When it comes to small guard, if you guys are interested in any of the other moves, like full-on dribble tutorial, this isn't really a dribble tutorial. This is just me showing you guys what moves that I piece with the Steve Francis, because I mean, the Steve Francis is one of the most popular dribble moves in the game right now. So I just wanted to show you guys some of the different moves to piece into it, how to do the Steve Francis spam itself. I showed you guys that little Curry move in the beginning. I mean, this is just pretty much just a little something, you know, just some Steve Francis combos and just some shit like that. You know, the updated dribble tutorial will come soon. That'll be for small and tall guards. It'll probably be like 40 minutes to an hour. And I'll cover how to do everything, you know, the nutmegs, all the different spam moves and glitchy moves, not just the Steve Francis. You know, I'll be covering everything. Today was just a little Steve Francis stuff. Show you guys some of the new SIGs, update y'all on some of the new SIGs, and talk about some of the starter 4 stuff. Make sure y'all don't forget to drop that like if y'all ready for the full one, because in that one I'm going to show y'all how to do everything. I'm going to teach y'all all the moves one by one, go over them with the hand cam one by one, and just go over everything. Even though we went over a lot already, there's a few more things that have been added to the bag that I got to show y'all, and there's a couple things that got patched, because obviously they patched the 720. Obviously, they patched the Jordan Clarkson hop jumper. So now we on to the Kyle Lowry hop jumper. You feel me? We on to bigger and different things. So, new dribble tutorial coming soon. These are just some Steve Francis combos and how I use them. You guys see me freestyling a little bit and how I dribble. I'm not really too much. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm probably not as good as a dribbler as I used to be. Right now, I'm not even really trying to dribble. But I haven't played on a small guard all year, so most of the SIGs I know are on my tall build, and they're more glitchy dribble moves instead of like standstill. I haven't been really rocking the standstill that much this year, but I'm going to get into it. You guys got the Steve Francis combos. You guys got everything else. And until the next time, your boy Hunt is out. I appreciate you guys for watching. 5-9 gameplay coming soon. Y'all gonna see me cook up on it, then I'm gonna hop back on my 6-4 and abandon the 5-9 for the rest of the year. I ain't gonna lie.